Cody Leonard's a steal for us. Very explosive, a 1AA guy. He's one of the guys we were referring to earlier. You know, Coach Kilday got on that situation, and we worked him out here. Chris, dunking a football, standing still, watched him on the field. His production. Again, one of the things that we talked about earlier was what's the difference in how you're evaluating, what's changing, the diagnostics of why are you guys more ahead than some of the other competitors. Evaluating talent. Cody Leonard's a 1A, small college kid. That turns a lot of colleges off. How good can that league be, for that matter? I've coached some great ones in some of the other places I've saw that nobody's even gone into some of those small schools, and those guys were 3-year starters or 4-year starters. Cody Leonard's one of those guys. I could see him having a direct impact on special teams immediately, direct impact athletically. He's got a lot of explosion, smart, high IQ, and for the production we had in high school, whether you're 1A or 8A, production's production. And that's one of the things, Chris, that we look at. We will evaluate at a high level, seeing a young man play on Saturday afternoon or in a state game or semifinal game or at a camp, and not worry about the workout too much, not upgrade or downgrade, but saying there's no books out there, there's no weights out there, there's no 40-yard, 20-yard, 10-yard. Can he play or can he? And I think that's a great evaluation tool that our staff holds very high to what we see we're going to take. No matter how big or slow or heavy Cody Leonard may or may not be, he can play the game of football, and we recruit him as such. We think we got a steal there.
About Dalen Andrews first, obviously kid in your own backyard. You've got a pretty solid running back situation. How does he fit into the equation for you?
You know, Dalen stands out in my mind. Certainly, you watch him play. He's another guy, Chris. You look at production, level of play, tough kid. I had a chance to meet with every family that walked through here, had a chance to sit and talk with Dalen, and you're impressed by who he is. And that's always a big selling point for us. We're trying to be tailback you. As good as Chris Harris is and will be and continues to grow, I don't think it could be one guy. You look at Alabama, it's got to be always a couple guys. We're starting to get that reputation as tailback you, getting a local guy like Dalen, who, be honest, Chris, feels like he's got something to prove. He has a chip on his shoulder. And what a great profile for us that we have an opportunity for him, and he thinks he can come here and give us a great opportunity as well. So we're real excited about having him in the football program.
You get into Kevin Miles' program across the river with Skylar Klein, a kid who probably top 5, top 10 in the state, and a high jumper. I mean, there's an awful lot of athleticism there, all-state defensive back. That's a nice land.
We saw the same things. The athleticism always trumps it's really something you look at. It doesn't trump the actual football IQ or the ability to play, but we thought, again, we're not too sure where to play Skylar either. He great wide receiver, defensive back, great get for us. Coach Miles, and again, Chris, those inroads for us is vital and how it goes forward, but we feel Skylar at his size, his athleticism, his ability to move and run, great ball skills. We think he's a great fit for us.
Luke Palin, obviously a kid who, you get two from Carrollton, and obviously Coach Flowers has done an amazing job. Luke may be a kid who can have an impact as a returner right off the bat. I mean, there's a lot of the template is pretty wide open with what you can do.
You know, you look at all of our numbers. Excuse me, Chris. Look at our numbers. We have a lot of two-way players. It seems like. Haven't put my pen to it, but now that we're talking about it, a guy tailback, defensive back, returner. There's a spot. You've watched us play. There's a spot for these young men in our football program. I believe we went from 0 to 100 as far as special teams from our first year to 2014. I really think that allowed us to really put ourselves on the map in the conference and on special teams. There's no ruling out to some of these young men, height and weight-wise, like Luke, that get in there, being a special team starter for us first, and maybe break the lineup here in the second year possibly. But we're real excited about Luke.
Last one for you, and I know he's a kid who wasn't on a lot of radar. Colton Hillis is a man mountain of a kid inside, and not only really tough, but incredibly smart kid, really kind of together upstairs. That's kind of a unique fit, a kid who's that tough and that powerful, who is that smart. Is he a kid who projects where?
He is a defensive tackle for us, Chris, and it is ironic, the things you just talk about. He is off the charts academically. Meet with him, talk one-on-one. He's got a high IQ, and then watch him play football as a defensive tackle and the violence that he brings to the game. He's another steal in our class. He probably have an immediate impact for us. He's so strong. His hands, so violent on the defensive side of the ball, but yet so smart, understands what's happening on the offensive side of the ball and what people are trying to do to him. Once again, our relationship with Coach Grounds, Jacksonville, the Central 8, it's starting to fit, it's starting to gel, where these young men are saying, from the guys that have gone before them, wow, I really looked up to so-and-so 3 years ago when we made a state title run or a playoff run. Let me take a look at that school now. Package was great, offer was great, and an immediate impact because we're still not there yet. We think Colton Hillis is one of those guys.
On that too, I mean, a couple of years ago, Nick Lonergan rolled the dice on this program. What does it say to you that his little brother has had the faith to come over here and kind of follow that lead?
Proud of how we conduct our business. Zach Lonergan's a heck of a football player. 1AA possibly in some places across this region. He's a wide receiver, defensive back. Our guys are fighting over him on both sides of the ball, and I got to stand in the middle and just find out where to put him. But that's big for, it's about family. It was good for the older brother. 4 or 5 years later, it's good for the younger brother because they know the experience that we're giving their son academically, athletically, spiritually, culturally here at Quincy University. And it's great to recruit the families when they have 2 or 3 other sons looking for a program. And it's no different than your best friend's son going there, and it was good enough for him, and we got a little bit of that this year too, where that father said, you know, I was good enough for so-and-so, and you know, why don't you take a look at Quincy? And sure enough, that's how it works out a little bit. And Zach's going to be a great player for us. And without Nick, 4 years ago, rolling the dice in this program, heck of a player in his own right, and hoping to have a great senior year for himself and our football program. Now Zach can continue on that legacy.